Get 3 networks in one up here and down there with a little help from Google Fi. A phone plan by Google.
Cheez-It Snapped is so thin, crisp.
Goddamn YouTube ads got me again. It got me again.
There is a sixth dimension beyond that which is known to man. A multiverse as vast as eternity, as timeless as the Infinity Gems. It is the middle ground between the big two and the indie publishers, between sci-fi and mysticism, and it lies between the pages of the reader's imagination. At the summit of entertainment, the dimension of comics, where a humble service is held. We call this service the Gospel of Comics.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Gospel of Comics. I am your host, the Church of Failure, and with me, as always, my trusty co-host, Eric McCartney. How you doing tonight, buddy?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. I almost forgot to unmute myself for a second there.
I noticed you right on time. You were just right on cue. You're doing really good at this. Better than I thought you'd be. Just don't ever switch it to push to talk and then forget you've done that, like somebody that I know that definitely isn't me.
There's a push to talk.
Yeah.
See, you shouldn't even have told me that one.
Yeah, there's a push to talk that you can turn on, and that way, like, it only activates when you remember to push the button, but that can be dangerous when you drink on stream. How's it going, Matt Christie? Good to see you, buddy. Novel, bro.
I'm just going to not mess with buttons in this then.
Okay, yeah, probably not. Probably the best thing to do is just leave everything working. I mean, Vox. What are we talking about, Vox? I'm confused. A voice activated. Oh, yeah. No. Danielle. How's it going, everybody? Anyway, I guess we're here to keep talking about this television show that nobody in our chat wants to watch. So they want us to tell them what happened every week, so that they don't have to watch it, and we still do. That's what's going on here, right? Like, I'm not just
it's either that and or they just want to torment us every week.
Well, we know they want to do that, but I mean, there's more humane ways. Hell, there's even less humane ways to do it. But they choose this specifically.
Yeah, you could just ask us to get waterboarded. I mean, it would be less painful.
And cheaper. You need all the therapy.
True.
So, where do you want to start this week? I mean, opening scene, the cold open. Do we start at the beginning?
Honestly, I don't even remember.
Okay. All right. Well, the cold opening. It was the poultry farm, the egg farm. Apparently, a big 40-acre farm, and this couple that couldn't have a kid. Enter Lady True, right? And this is a Vietnamese woman. And she just, like, walks in, pulls out a fucking... Oh, God. Just the hourglass, but it's a 3-minute hourglass, right? And she's yeah, I'm going to explain to you in the next 3 minutes why you're going to give me all your land. You know, she explains that she's some kind of trillionaire and that she knows that they've been trying to conceive a child and that she's going to give them a child and $5 million for their land. but they have like 10 seconds to decide by the time she gets through her whole spiel. Okay.
And then some little Asian kid just like walks in carrying a baby.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And this couple just believes that it's their kid.
Oh, she's got your eyes! You got
Yeah.
your eyes!
Like, oh, you say so? Random Vietnamese lady in weird ass fucking clothing that just appeared out of nowhere.
Well, you do realize that Vietnam is like a state in this timeline, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Like
Either way.
because of Dr. Manhattan's interference in Vietnam, it's the 51st state. That's why they had that weird circular American flag.
Yeah. Well, either way.
Continue.
I don't know. If some random Asian lady walked into my house and said, "Hey, I made a child for you in a lab," I wouldn't just believe her in 10 seconds.
I don't know, man. I got 3 kids. I probably would. I'd probably just be like, shit, another baby. All right, somebody go get me some diapers. We're going to need wipes, baby food. We don't have a car seat. What the fuck is going on right now? There's a baby in my arms. Get to moving, people. It would just be like autopilot raising the children.
Well, I mean, when you're on your third, that makes sense.
It would be my 4th at that point, right?
Well, yeah.
Oh man, no, but I feel you. Like you, but I mean, what are you gonna do? It's a baby, and she just kind of like puts you on the spot. Like it's a big dick energy move. And she puts you on the spot. She just walks in, puts the baby in your arms, says that she's gonna destroy the baby if you don't agree. Like, what are you doing? But anyway, so basically, she gives them $5 million and a baby, and they give her everything that she wants in 3 minutes. And then there's this meteor crash in the background, which I've seen some people speculating is almost like a Superman allegory.
Okay.
Because first off, the last name of the people on the farm is Clark.
Mm-hmm.
The meteor falls on their farm property. It was a couple that was unable to conceive, and this woman seemingly aware that this thing's going to fall. I mean, I don't know. I've seen a lot of people comparing that to a Superman allegory and trying to tie in the fact that later on in the episode we find out that the old man in the wheelchair, his last name is Reeves, Will Reeves, Christopher Reeves, and I'm just like, no, I draw the line right there.
Yeah,
we're done.
That's pushing it.
But yeah, I don't know. So it's my wife just brought me a troll doll slap bracelet and just quietly put it on my arm and walked away.
I mean, what else would you do with a troll doll slap bracelet?
Yeah, well, it's a little troll doll, and then its hair starts where the slap bracelet does. So the entire
Weird.
it's all fuzzy and stuff. It's adorable. Anyway,
it sounds like sickeningly adorable.
It is.
Oh, okay.
It is, but I have little girls. I'm used to that.
Fair.
So, anyway, there are a lot of allegories to Dr. Manhattan and the connection between Adrian Veidt and this Vietnamese lady. But shortly thereafter,
can we skip and just talk about just the Adrian Veidt arc? Because that's like the most vivid thing that I remember from the episode, and it was weird as fuck.
It was, but I want to save that for later because it is weird and it's good.
Okay,
I want to go kind of chronologically if we're going to do that, or at least in the
the
chronology that I remember it. I mean, maybe you'll be able to keep up. You
I
know,
mean, I did fall asleep halfway through, and then had to like rewind to the last thing I remembered and watch the rest of it again.
I will
So
say that you were talking about your boy Zach and how you disagreed with him on something before about X-Men. Well, I watched his review of The Watchmen for like 15 minutes earlier, and he said that someone had told him that the director has this style where he'll essentially do what he's doing with Watchmen. Episode 3 was like a tease. It wasn't a sign that the show was getting better. That was the fish hook that dug in just a little bit deeper to keep you sunk into the series.
you know, that's kind of what my thoughts were. Like, I don't think this is gonna stay like that.
No, no, and you were absolutely right because this is probably up there with one of the most boring episodes I've ever seen of this show.
Yeah, I barely remember it, and it wasn't because I was drinking. Just nothing happened.
I wish I was, because then I'd have an excuse. But yeah,
True.
it was just a whole lot of like implying, and Lori and Angela are both trying to like get one up on the other. Oh, we've got a little bit of crackling coming through on my end.
Uh-oh.
I don't know. It seems to have cleared up.
All right.
It was not a rustling bag of Doritos, though. I don't know what that was. Maybe my beard. Maybe my beard was activating. I don't know. But Angela, we switch over to her, Sister Night, whatever. And she's busy, like, cleaning up the bakery, chopping down a wheelchair, and throwing it in a duffel bag. And this is probably my favorite part of the episode. But she's throwing the duffel bag into an underpassing garage or garbage truck, and notices a man in a full spandex suit that kind of looks like an alien. Silver,
shiny
big
silver,
eyes.
silver.
Yeah,
suit.
big bug eyes. Just kind of like watching her. And as soon as she notices him, she tries to chase him down. Right? This dude pulls lube out of a utility belt, squirts it all over his body, and like I don't even know how to describe the fall he takes, but it's just like he dropped.
It's like he's doing a slide tackle in football.
Almost, it's almost like you know how you go down a water slide and you just like flatten out like your what's that Olympic sport that they did in Cool Running?
Luge.
Yeah, like you're doing the luge, right? But without the board or whatever.
Yeah, it was
just
really
into the sewer system because of lube. Like he just flattened out and like slid into the sewer system from the little grate on the side of the concrete. Slipped right in.
Slipped right down in there.
Astroglide, man. That's how I keep squirrels off my bird feeders.
That's how I get my Cadillac in my garden shed. What do you mean?
It probably is just a shit audio cord on this headset. This headset taking a lot of abuse. I'm hoping it makes tax time. That's where I'm at right now. But do I sound okay to you?
You're cutting in and out a little bit, but I think that's just my connection with Discord.
Probably. Why is the Discord head not on? Huh. Do I have to set the overlay up every time? Huh. Weird.
I heard a noise.
Well, that's just me coming back in. I was testing the overlay and it's not there, so I don't know. No. Very strange. I guess you have to set it up every show. Yep, lubed up and slipped in the sewer. That is Lube Man in a nutshell. That is the thumbnail for this episode. Because honestly, at this point, I think Lube Man is my favorite character. We know nothing about Luke Man except that a lot of people suspect that that's Petey, right? Like the assistant to the FBI chick, Lori. A lot of people think that that's him.
Okay.
Yeah. So
why?
I don't know. I don't think that it's him. I think that's too easy of an explanation. I think maybe that's somebody new, some rogue third party agent.
Yeah, this is one of the writers of Lost. It's not going to be something that obvious.
Right. There's a lot of weird theories floating around out there, and I figured we could kind of talk about them as I got to the part they corresponded with. During the whole cleanup area thing, she got a call from the cultural museum that she submitted Will's DNA to, and she calls in a break-in and asks about a silent alarm being tripped. And she's like, well, I'm here and there's glass broken, so if you hear the alarm, it's just me checking it out. And then she proceeds to, break the fuck in, right? Again, displaying that the police are just awful, right?
Yeah. Like, what the fuck?
So, I mean, these are stellar police officers here, guys. They're abducting suspects without warrants. They're beating suspects, possibly killing them. The chief of police was either a Klan member or his grandfather was a Klan member. Their lead interrogator is an absolute sociopath that has a weird bunker and a squid fetish. And then there's a Ruski. Nothing good can come from any of this. But
I mean, to be fair, I do assume that Alan Moore does have a weird bunker and a squid fetish.
I wouldn't consider any of that wrong, but he has no influence on the show, so they're either making an homage to him, or that's more common than. Well, that's much more common than I really want to think that it is. So we'll just leave that there. Anyway, they get back to the cultural museum, and she finds out about her great grandparents and all this other good shit. And then we basically catch up to the end of the last episode with, if cops that bad, don't get caught eating a sandwich. We're actually going to talk about that a little bit later if we have time, but this is where we catch back up to the end of the episode where the car drops in front of Laurie and Angela and them have a conversation. Laurie's like, oh, am I not supposed to know that's you, Angela? Which is the first of 2 or 3 times this happens in that episode. Her secret identity is just kind of worthless now.
Yeah. Well, didn't she break into the museum when
I just said that.
Huh?
I just said that. Or do you mean in the beginning? No,
yeah, it was
open. It was open in the beginning. She went in there when it was open as herself.
No, but I mean, when she broke into the museum, it was still kind of light out, and then how long was she there? Because then it was dark when the car dropped.
Well, she was there long enough to get her acorn and go through her digital family tree and excel the plot device, cuss out her grandfather's baby pictures. I mean, she got some stuff done in there, dude.
But it was light out when she went in, right?
I think it was dusk.
Okay. I don't know.
I don't really remember.
It was so it was so boring. I don't remember.
Yeah.
And the show is lit so bad, it's hard to tell.
Well, I mean, I watch it on a highly lit monitor, so that's not really an issue. But through a completely legitimate streaming service. I
have to turn the brightness up on my screen to be able to see anything.
I don't know. There's a lot of back and forth at this point between Lori and Angela. They take a car ride. Petey says some creepy shit about knowing that Eddie Blake raped his mom. There's also apparently a link to HBO's Peteypedia on the Watchmen, which apparently this is the author of, supposedly, the fictional assistant FBI agent. Maybe one day in the future we'll take a look at that for some lulz. There's apparently schematics for the Dr. Manhattan dildo on there.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. In case you ever wanted to build your own.
Does it explain why the balls detach?
I'm not eating chips on air. Who's eating chips? Is it staticking again? I don't know. I can't tell things. Everything seems fairly okay on my end. Maybe I'm just fucking everything up. This is going so well. Anyway.
It always does.
Oh, doesn't it? Like, it's the best. But you eventually get to a point where... Oh, it's my beard. My beard brushing up against the microphone. It's just that large. That should be better. I moved the microphone up about 2 inches. Sorry. I just kind of drifted downward into the luscious beard that I have. That was my facial hair trying to communicate and get intimate with you guys. Is that any better? Or is it worse? Should I put the microphone back in the beard?
I mean, really what it was is his beard has a mind of its own and is sentient and is trying to send you signals for help.
Mm-hmm. But that should have aided and mostly ended the staticky. If it didn't, then I don't know what to tell you. But anyway, moving on. There's a lot of back and forth. Petey gives a whole creepy, rapey explanation of who Laurie is, and then they explain that they know that Sister Night probably has some kind of childhood trauma, and that's why she chose to be a superhero. Now we know she spent her childhood in Vietnam, and we also know that the weapon that she uses is actually a Vietnamese weapon. So the theory holds up that her backstory is eventually going to lead to her having some kind of traumatic childhood experience, probably regarding her parents' death. But it's yet to be seen. We haven't gotten her origin story yet, except for the fact that, a bunch of cops got all fucked up. Now that I put the chips away, absolutely. It was 100% the chips. I'm caught. I'm exposed. Somebody DM Tipster and let him know that the exposed video on me should already be in the works, that I eat chips on air. My microphone definitely was not nestling in my beard. It's a headset mic, guys. Like, it's just, I'm cheap. It was just kind of like resting down in the beard. I don't know why I'm explaining this to you people. I love you all, but goddamn. We're getting so off topic here.
Do you feel like half of our listeners listen just to take the piss out of us?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I would actually give it more 75%.
Oh, that's fair.
Eats chips on air, blames beard, more at 11. Back to you. But anyway, they go and, I don't know, interrogate meet with Lady True, the trillionaire chick, at her place of business. They discover the magnetic hydraulic lifter things that are probably the culprit for stealing the car. It is later revealed in the episode that Lady True and Will are working together, not only through a Vietnamese conversation that True has with Angela, um, but with Will's appearance at the end of the episode in True's terrarium, or what the fuck ever, right?
Yep.
So,
biome.
yeah, terrarium, whatever. Basically her little slice of Vietnam in Oklahoma. And they give a very loosely, reasoned why the show is based in Oklahoma, which I'm calling bullshit on right off the rip. Okay? The show is based in Oklahoma and focuses around the Tulsa Massacre because the land apparently is structurally sound to house the clock that they're building.
Yeah, the Dr. Manhattan clock.
Something like that. It's absolutely fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, because it says something about things like
it's earthquake proof and it's sink proof.
Destroyed by tsunamis and
it would have to be hit with a nuclear weapon directly.
If that's not foreshadowing something.
Right, because, well, I mean, I think it's like the black smoke monster in Lost.
Probably.
Just that one thing that they're gonna show us and we're gonna experience and then never fucking understand it. Was it the bad guy? Was it the brother? Was it the mom? Who the fuck knows anymore? I think it was all the goddamn dead dog's dream. But anyway, that's the loose reason that they base this in Oklahoma. Angela at some point finds out that Lori has had a conversation with her husband, and somebody online pointed out that, and a couple of people have, but that every time Lori mentions Angela's husband, she mentions how attractive he is. And saying that could mean something because someone is trying to loosely connect him with being Dr. Manhattan.
That's what?
Mm-hmm.
I think she's just supposed to be like a horny old cougar.
No. Cal is apparently, that's the theory, is that he supposedly has a link to Dr. Manhattan. I don't understand where that theory comes from based on what we've seen. I was asking if there's something I might be overlooking.
I mean,
is there any plausibility to that in your perspective?
I mean, the only thing I could see is the fact that this actor shows absolutely no emotions and delivers his lines entirely.
I know, but what if that's a choice? What if that's not a bad actor? What if that's a screenwriting choice? Because think about it. In this episode alone, Angela tries to pick a fight with him. Okay? And he just doesn't engage. His kids were talking about heaven, his adoptive kids were talking about heaven. They have no natural kids, first off. That's something to think about as well. That hasn't come up, obviously, but it just kind of hit me. The beginning of this episode, True gives this family that couldn't have children a family. We kind of have a correlation to that because Angela doesn't have kids with Cal, but they adopted the kids of some of the police officers, or one of the police officers that was killed during the White Night. So, for some reason, that's got to be important, right?
Yeah, I mean,
but
or we're meant to think it's important to make, so
well,
later on they can claim. So later on they can claim that the show was secretly brilliant because of the writing and all the twists and turns and mysteries. And...
Well, they're not doing that later on. They're doing that now. Don't you see the Watchmen post every damn day on Twitter? Oh, it's brilliant, breathtaking. It's but anyway, no. I think that we're kind of like, yes, I have my biases, but to look at it objectively, children and reproduction are a very important part of this show's undertones, which will take us into the Adrian Veidt segment you wanted to talk about in a second. The beginning of this episode, an egg farm. Eggs usually represent fertility. You've got the biologically created child, supposedly. You've got, you've got the young, or the Vietnamese woman with her daughter. You've got Will and his ancestry being a very pivotal point in the TV show. And then you've got Adrian Veidt and the weird shit that he's doing in the 4th year of his captivity. Because at this point, it's confirmed that every time we see him, it's 1 year since we've seen him last. So we're only getting 15 minutes out of his entire year.
Yeah.
Every episode. Whereas the rest of and at this point, if you think about the timeline, he's been gone since 2012, right? And his disappearance had something to do with Vietnam, which leads me to think that True has something to do with his imprisonment. Because at this point, it's pretty sound theory that he is imprisoned on some kind of fake terrain meant to look like a paradise, but the only people he can interact with are these servants that he's growing with an egg-shaped microwave thing where you grow fetuses that you fish out of a lake into full-sized humans that know absolutely nothing.
Well, hold on. He doesn't just fish them out of the lake. He uses a
crab trap.
A crawdad trap to scoop these fetuses out of the...
It's a crab cage, and he throws the defective ones over his shoulder back in the water. It's kind of like...
Were they defective? I thought he was just trying to get one of each gender. And
no, one didn't have arms and shit. It was weird.
Oh. Like I said, it's the lighting on the show is very dark. It's hard to see.
Yeah, it's a weird ass show. It was kind of cringe to watch that, to be completely honest.
It was, but it was so weird and out of left field compared to the rest of the show. If they just made the show about Veidt's imprisonment, I would like it. If it was just about him going batshit crazy and growing babies in a lake and fishing them out with a crab trap, I would watch the shit out of that.
Well, he takes his newly grown servants back to his castle, and you realize that he had a bad night last night, and all of his previous servants were murdered brutally at his hand.
There's one more thing I want to point out. There was a penis in this episode, but we also got to see tits, so that made up for it.
Did it?
I mean, I'll take what I can. At this point, it seems just like a sea of penises, like that gif on Twitter where the chick and the hot dog's just being thrown at her face. That's what this past month on the show has felt like. So to see some tits, it was okay, I'll take it.
Well, I mean, the first time you saw the fish penis, there were tits in that. You didn't. You weren't happy with that.
Yes. But see, we're going from fish penis, at the beginning of this crazy journey, to artificially grown human penis and tits. I've been desensitized at this point.
I feel that. I understand that life. Anyway, at the end of that little segment, Vite is sending the corpses of his slain servants into what I can only assume at this point is outer space, possibly off of the lunar surface of the moon, maybe?
Yeah, I kind of got moon, too, from the way they did the transition. But
and, so also the current timeline puts that being 2016, 3 more episodes before we should see Vite in current day, or at current juncture, so to speak. Which also lines up with the 3 more days reference by Will at the end of the episode, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because the timeline of this show is like a day.
Right. See, this episode was so boring, I'm forgetting all these all the little details.
I had to write stuff down. I have in big, bold letters the word lube man circled like 5 times. I really wish I could have made more content out of that, but it wasn't enough. Although they did take the belt back into police headquarters and ask if they knew any vigilantes that use a belt like this. And Red Scare is just at the desk going, I don't think your lube man is going to be high priority. Or, no, that's Hispanic. Damn it, what's the Ruski? Comrade, I don't think you're lube man. I can't do Ruski. I'm sorry. I don't know if I don't do Russian.
I can pull out Russian.
Yeah, I don't do Russian. Man, how bad is that the only accent that I can pull out on a whim is Hispanic, though? Just paint me as a racist real quick, why don't we?
I mean, you do smell like bleach.
Wait, what? How do you know what I smell like?
Well, if you're a racist, according to this show, you smell like bleach.
Oh, yeah, they smell like bleach. Right, yeah.
Yeah.
It's all the bleach I drink, though. Coming out of my pores.
Yeah. Like Indians with curry?
That's terrible.
Well, I'm not wrong. There's probably a larger Indian population up here than there is down where you're at.
What the fuck are we even talking about anymore?
There's a lot of Indian and Middle Eastern people in Michigan, and it makes no sense because it's cold as balls and they come from the goddamn desert, and I don't understand it.
Okay.
But
alright.
It's really confusing. When you see like 3 feet of snow and then some chick in a hijab and like a Muslim dude in like the weird like long shirt dress things and the funny little hat like out there shoveling snow. It is the weirdest sight in the world. Makes me laugh every time.
All right. Moving away from the racism, there's another part with the Senator Keene. I do have to lead with my mistakes. 40 minutes into the episode, it's not Mayor Keene; it is Senator Keene. So I think I called him Mayor Keene a few times last week. But
yeah.
You get another sense that he's a piece of shit asshole. Probably in league with the 7th Cavalry. Probably also had a hand in getting this whole thing set up. You know, with the funeral and all that shit. So
yeah,
he also makes mention that he knows who Angela is as well. And again, I know we're supposed to be rooting for her as a character. I just can't bring myself to do it. She's not a good guy.
We're supposed to be rooting for her?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, they failed miserably on that one. At least with me. Like, I'm sure she's going to get great critical acclaim. But
I mean, I'm rooting for Vite and Lube Man.
Lube Man. I was about to say, after the babies sing, Vite's on my shit list until next week. But the Lube Man.
Yes, but catapulting his dead genetically grown servants into the air, and you have to trigger the catapult using a giant ass hammer, like Donkey Kong.
And I like that he's equal opportunity and let the woman use the hammer.
Yeah, I mean, come on, how can you not root for that?
But well, throwing fetuses back in the lake. Like, I'm sorry. It's really weird to see like little tiny baby fetuses shoved into a microwave, scream horribly for like 10 minutes, and then hear like a little ding noise and see naked full grown people. It's a little disturbing.
But the most entertaining thing that they've shown in this entire show so far.
Did you not see Lube Man scoot down a fucking storm drain?
Okay. Short of Lube Man. This show better, in the next 3 episodes, better turn into the adventures of Ozymandias and Lube Man running away from the law.
We gotta get out of here. This is bad country.
If they do that, I will forgive these first however many episodes if it turns into that. The two of them are running away from the law. And the weird Vietnamese chick with the weird looking clothes. That'll be fantastic.
Lube Man. Squish. Squirt. Pow.
And they're like running, and there's like a small gap in the fence, and so Lube Man has to like lube up both of them so they can squeeze through.
You know, one day I'm gonna have to like do story time with church and tell you guys about the superhero that I created when I was younger with my my father by the name of Fart Man and his sidekick Little Pootor.
Our next drunk party stream, that'll be the opening of it.
Oh no, there's a whole like backstory and lore to Fart Man, and they have like a catalog of villains. He has like foods that trigger his superpowers. Usually cheap beer and chicken wings, pickled pig feet.
No Taco Bell anywhere in there?
Oh, it's an ass blasting good time. I wasn't sure I'd be able to get the rights to Taco Bell.
Fair enough. I mean, you could have called it Taco Hell.
Oh man, but that was a joke. I didn't really understand anything about rights. Another little piece of lore there. This is all typed up on like a typewriter, an old school electric typewriter.
So we're going to totally put this up on Indiegogo, right?
Oh man, I'd have to get some help finished, like to actually write a script for it. I've got good lore, but I don't have any kind of script anymore. I have a good general idea and layout for the first like issue, maybe. But yeah, we could work something out. I remember one of his villains. I remember one of his villains drank disposable douche down like water. It was how do you say in 2019? Problematic.
This has to be a thing.
The Adventures of Fart Man and Little Pootor. I can see it. I can see it. How's it going, Daniel? Sorry about the snow buddy. Everybody except me apparently hates the snow, but that's because it's such a rare thing for me. Anyway, where were we on this? I like that my 6-year-old dirty joke, humor, imagination, and my father's lack of an ability to grow the hell up and be a child and be all of his life is more entertaining than 4 episodes of The Watchmen. At least to us. Like, I mean, are we basically just Beavis and Butthead of the YouTube comic scene? Are we just basically sitting here
after Saturday? After Saturday, yes.
Are we just sitting here 4 nights a week going?
I mean, you know, we could live stream your colonoscopy and it'd probably have a better storyline than Watchmen. So,
oh man, I don't doubt that. But alas, we do have to finish up the
1,000 subscriber show. That's what we're gonna do. Live stream Church's colonoscopy.
I disavow. I'll fire you for real before that'll happen, sir. Don't listen to him. Never gonna happen. Just don't ever worry about that. I don't know. I'll get a live feed into Matt Jarbo's car if I want to see a colonoscopy take place. But shit, did I say that out loud? Are you there? Did you die? Oh, you did. I think he's dying a little bit.
No, my cigar went out, and I figured you didn't want my torch going off in the background near the mic.
I don't know. Set your microphone on fire, and I'll let you know if it sounds any better. No, it doesn't sound any better.
Okay, I didn't think it would.
That was a bad idea.
A little too close. That flame was a little too close to my nose.
Set your nose on fire, and I'll let you know if you sound any better. See how far I can take this little game.
Probably about there.
Yeah, well, let me see how many Patreon donations we can get off of setting yourself on fire.
I mean,
what kind of goal do we need to set for that? About $300?
$300? What do you think this is? Somebody donates $100 a month. I'll make a video of me setting myself on fire.
A new a new body part every month.
Oh no, I'll do full, like, I'll do Human Torch.
Oh sweet, $100 a month. Fuck yeah. I wouldn't tell this chat that. I mean, now Bro's been saving up for something like this, I heard.
It'll be great, especially in the snow. I could do something. I could be like stand up on my deck, do that, like light, and then like dive off into the real quick, and hopefully it puts the fire.
I don't know. I would hope so, but I wouldn't bank on it with your luck. Get it? Snow bank. Sorry.
Yes.
That was terrible. Anyway, let's see if we can actually get through the rest of the episode. I think we covered most of it. The car fell back. Lori and Angela are going to end up working together, but as like grudging cops that hate each other. Viked is going crazier and crazier every year. A lot of weird fan theories are starting to pop up about this show. And you got to be kind of cautious with those too, because as much sense as they might make, Game of Thrones,
the writer from Lost.
Well, Game of Thrones fans out there will remember that Tyrion Lannister could have very well have been the third Targaryen in Game of Thrones, but they just never went that way. even though it made all the goddamn sense.
You know, speaking of Game of Thrones, one of our lovely listeners brought me the rest of, I don't know, there's probably like a shot and a half left in the bottle. John's Ice Walker, I think, or whatever.
Oh,
and
okay.
really wants me to try it. I don't want to try it.
You gotta try it. You there?
Like now?
I mean, I don't know, like now, but I mean, you should try it.
I mean, maybe a taste. I don't know if I could do a whole glass.
Well, why don't you give us the nose of it and the just the ideas of it. I will be right back. I just have to step away for just a moment.
Well, that means I have to
Come on, man.
Go get it.
Come on, man. Hurry up. This is quality radio here.
Oh, is it? Oh no, it's a Johnny Walker Song of Fire and Ice blended Scotch whiskey.
Yeah. All right, you got it now.
I don't know how I feel about this.
Talk about the whiskey for a second. I'll be right back.
I will talk about the whiskey. First, I'm going to say I hate gimmicky shit while I grab my glass out of the freezer. The things I do for you people. Really for Church, because he needs me to fill airtime while he goes and does something. This episode. Anyways, so Johnny Walker, Song of Fire and Ice. Back of the bottle. Does it say anything interesting? No, it doesn't. Oh, is best enjoyed over ice for a cold, smooth finish. All right. Daniel, I hate you, by the way. All right, so coloring, a bit clear, not quite that dark amber color that I typically like in a Scotch. It's more like a golden honey. Kind of has a sweet... What the hell? Has like a sweet floral sort of scent to it, almost like cherry blossoms or something like that, maybe. I really hope you guys are enjoying this. I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, that's not good. That's it like doesn't taste like anything, but then the finish is like
all right, so
you know, like those honeys.
How's the whiskey?
It's not good.
Not good?
No.
Okay. Solid 0 out of 10 review from you then.
Yeah. I mean, I'll let it sit in the glass with the ice on the bottom and let it cool a bit more, and I'll try another sip before the show's over.
Why don't you
not much flavor going in, and the finish it tastes like, you know, those honey sticks from like Cracker Barrel.
No.
Like those honey stick candies?
No.
Oh. Well, yeah, it's like a hardened stick of honey, basically. That's kind of what the finish is like. It's weird.
Interesting. But did you put it on ice? Yeah, he just said he put ice and he's going to let the ice sit for a minute. If that doesn't work, set it on fire and see what that does for it.
Yeah, well,
that's just going to be my suggestion for everything tonight. Set it on fire.
Well, what I do actually is I put about a 1/4 inch of water in the bottom of my rocks glass, and then I freeze my rocks glass and then pour it on top of that, so the ice doesn't dissipate it and water my whiskey down as quickly, but it still cools it enough. So, but we'll see. I'll give it a few more minutes and try it again, cool it off.
While I was
If you knew it was pretty bad, Daniel, why'd you bring it to me to make me drink?
Because he hates you. And again, this show gives him power over you in a situation where he might not otherwise have it. But no, I don't know. I like some of the themes that they have going on with this show. I don't like the execution of it. I mean, I think is and I also thought of, while I was stepped away for a moment, I thought of one area of the show that we haven't talked about yet.
What's that?
The meeting with Looking Glass.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we mentioned how he has a bunker and a weird fetish for squids.
Right. So he, is taking photographs of these squid monsters after the rains or whatever and developing them in an underground bunker type situation. Angela stops by
because he's crazy
to get his ex, I guess, to look at the pills. So apparently there's some kind of backstory with an ex that they're foreshadowing to so hard on the nose. When, natural storytelling would have been, hey, do you know anybody that can look into these? Like, yeah, I might know somebody. And then you introduce the ex, and then you're like, oh, it's the ex. And that's when you put it down in everybody's face to remind them for the rest of the story that this is his ex. But they just were like, oh, show these to your ex. Get her to identify them. My ex? Yeah, your ex. You said it was amicable. It was. It's just so awkward. Okay, so his ex is going to be kind of important in identifying these pills.
For some reason.
Right.
No
and
build-up,
there are all kind of little Easter eggs in this show. The novels that are being read at any given time are significant because of reasons. The one in the beginning was actually mentioned in the Watchmen comic. The one in the middle with Cal, the one that he's reading when Angela tries to pick a fight with him, is historically important and alludes to something. I have a feeling that it is going to turn out that Will, the old black guy, is actually Hooded Justice from the Minutemen.
Yeah, you've been saying that one. I might, when I saw him stand up like that, I was like, okay, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe I can see it.
Well, I mean, the timeline makes sense, and so does the backstory.
Yeah.
He was a police officer that retired early in the 40s and 50s. And it made me kind of wonder, historically, how accurate would that be? Were there African American police officers in New York City in the 40s and 50s?
New York City?
Yeah.
Probably not at that point, but I don't know.
Because I know segregation was even still a thing.
Well, you didn't get the first... I know there, in certain southern towns, you didn't get, the first black, police chiefs or something like that until, the 80s, as late as that.
Right.
So New York City, I would doubt it at that point.
So that is one thing.
It's possible,
but again,
it's possible.
It's possible in Moore's Watchmen universe as well.
Well, I was gonna say historically it would be possible if, in certain neighborhoods, your beat cop,
right,
could have been black, because that was kind of the point of a beat cop, is they were from the neighborhoods,
right?
So could properly police them, and they knew, they know kind of the culture of the different neighborhoods and stuff, and that's kind of the point of a beat cop.
Right.
You
And
didn't just have blanket
I don't,
laws and rules that everybody has to follow. You would kind of, take certain things into account. But
and I didn't, mean to insinuate that was okay. It just historical accuracy. Like if they're trying to push the 1921 thing, but
yeah,
again, this is altered history, and Moore's work doesn't really start until the 80s. So to have so many advancements in civil rights in that universe could actually be important later on, right?
yeah.
Or it could just be kind of an oversight in the canonical storytelling. Either way, it doesn't really amount to much, but it's something I thought about.
Let's see. Samuel James Battle was the first black police officer in New York City after attending segregated schools in North Carolina. Moved in there and took the job. He was sworn in on March 6th, 1911. So.
Oh, okay. So yeah, okay. All right.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess so.
Learn something new. Interesting. So yeah, he very well could fit the bill for Hooded Justice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But because that's the thing that all of the Minutemen basically had in common, it seems they all had a background in law enforcement or emergency services and wanted to do more than the confines of their office would allow them. Oh yeah, they were a part of the community. Henceforth, why now we don't trust them. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of the old Minutemen were basically cops or emergency services guys turned mass vigilantes. So it would make sense, and that was kind of debunked early in the show that he was some kind of strongman, which was alluded to in Watchmen proper, the comics. I don't know if that really means a whole lot, or if that's just kind of a way of shifting the, I don't know, cultural importance of that character. Because in the comics, he was supposed to be almost like a commie Marxist or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of why he went into hiding, because of the whole Cold War era thing. And the Red Scare, which is one of our characters is aptly named after.
Which is still weird to me, but
It's like a reject blood, right? Well, I got all the clothes already. But
I mean, out of all the character ideas you could come up with, really.
Yeah, but that brings us back to Looking Glass and the rest of that scene. She also gives him the KKK robes from Judd's closet. And
which was a really weird decision, I thought, but
what I don't get is, are we supposed to take away the fact that he kind of like understands and might be, what's the word I'm looking for? Sympathetic to the 7th Cavalry, or are we supposed to see him as being kind of ironically emotionless towards them?
I don't know what to make of this character. Like, it could really go either way. Like
I was really surprised to see him out of his mask.
Yeah, I was too. I thought that was going to be like a whole
running
character
thing.
arc.
Right.
Yeah, like an arc thing, I guess, of him always having the mask because various reasons.
Right.
But
no, they just kind of stripped that away from us 4 episodes in, and I don't appreciate it one goddamn little bit.
No, but again, it's what happens when you have the writer from Lost. Right?
Yeah. I don't know. All in all, your boy Zach, I think, hit the nail on the head with his review of this. The third episode was Daniel Lundoff or Lindoff or whatever the fuck his name is. His bait and hook to get you to give you just enough to keep you interested in the show for another episode or two. And then it's just like stringing you along, and everything that it answers and possibly gives you a little bit of insight on is kind of ripped away by the end of the episode and the amount of new shit you just have to process. So
yeah, even though there was like they threw a bunch of new shit at us, but at the same time giving us no new information at the same time.
now this kind of it's not really relevant to the topic of the Watchmen as a TV show, but do you think the fact that, and you know, I have a large family. We have Netflix, we have Hulu, stuff like that. Multiple profiles so everybody can watch what they want to watch. Do you think the era of being able to watch, and even going back to when DVDs were the preferred form of media, you could buy box sets of TV shows that were in syndication, right? So do you think the culture of episodically watching complete seasons, quote unquote binge watching, do you think that has changed the TV industry to the point that it's not really made for weekly fixings of a show?
Yeah,
I think like a show. Well, I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt or stop you, but like a show like CSI or something like that can work on a weekly new episode basis because it's a formulaic TV show. They try and do too much artsy fartsy shit with Watchmen, and in order to keep an audience like hooked in and interested for weeks on end, where the one question that they had at the beginning still hasn't been fucking answered. Like, we don't even care about the white supremacist in the last two episodes, really. Like,
yeah, that's true.
You know, the chief is still dead. We're no closer to figuring out what the fuck happened there. I mean, it's almost like it's like you said, like there's no progress in these episodes for them to be stretched out week to week. So, you know, just kind of take that, and what are your thoughts in that regard? Do you think that affects this show?
Yeah, well, I guess the last, like, I guess quote unquote Netflix thing I started watching was the first season. Yeah, first season of Stranger Things. Before I stopped using the streaming stuff because it was a waste of money.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, basically, that was written. It was just a really long ass movie with several intermissions. It wasn't like, you know, like some of the shows I grew up watching, kind of in that episodic format. You know, like reruns of Dukes of Hazzard. You know, where like there's not really a connecting story, right? Like every week, it's kind of like it's that formulaic. You know, something happens, they have to run away from the cops, and then ditch the evidence and that got planted on them, and find the real bad guy and jump over a river in their car, right?
Yeah, right.
And that's there wasn't like the continuing story. But even shows like the animated Justice League and X-Men and Batman the animated series were slightly more like congruent episodic, but at the same time not. Like,
well,
you could,
there was an overarching storyline, but they also had the previously on X-Men right at the beginning.
Yeah, which they're trying to do in this, but
it's not working.
Yeah.
I personally think that if they would have put this out as a full 12 episode season, it would have been much more easier to ingest. Because here's the thing. By the 12th episode, if it's written correctly and it's done right, everything, like the giant payoff is there. It's like watching all of Lost episodically on a streaming service.
Right.
While Lost is a kind of a letdown by the end of Lost, at the end of season 1, you're like, oh my god.
And I think that's the problem is most of the people watching Watchmen watched Lost when it was on TV, and we're seeing those same tropes, the same kind of writing formula that they used for Lost, like set up a whole bunch of huge big ass questions right at the beginning. Don't answer any of them. Set up little questions throughout the rest of the episodes that you answer in the next episode while giving you more questions and not really telling you anything that's actually happening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right.
It's just tiring. I mean, Lost at least had some character development that was pretty decent on a lot of the like kind of that main 7 characters.
Right.
They had there was at least character development, even though we didn't really get much story progression. But yeah, this doesn't even have that.
Well, I'd agree, but I mean, there is story progression to it. The story just boring so far. Like, really, what the fuck has happened? Some white supremacists got their ass beat in episodes 1 and 2. A corpse got blown up in episode 3. And we got to see Ozymandias fish up some baby fetuses in episode 4. Like, what interesting...
And Lube Man. Don't forget about Lube Man.
Lube Man is the selling point of episode 4, but be, serious for just a second. I know that's not my normal take, but be serious for just a second. Where is the selling point on any of this? I mean, woo, we beat up some white supremacists. That's cool. Awesome. Punch Nazis, whatever the fuck you want to do. Put it on your t-shirt. Wear it beside your safety pin. I don't give a shit. But it's not enough to carry an entire television show. Like, what are we supposed to be taking away from this? I mean, are you just stuffing Easter eggs in there for the YouTube content creators? And the fucking clickbait video articles?
That's kind of what it seems like.
Where's the actual meat of the storytelling in this shit? Everybody's praising it and saying, oh, it's just critically brilliant. And I'm just like, is it? Am I just that, am I just that disenfranchised? Because, like I said, I honestly wanted to give it a chance after episode 3, but this is just... I almost fell asleep watching this.
I did fall asleep watching it.
I wasn't even really tired. It just, I was sitting there. It just didn't make me think about anything really until I went back later. Until I went back later and, just kind of picked it apart a little bit. But just watching it and trying to enjoy it as popcorn entertainment, it's not there. Like, the characters just seem flat. They have no dimension whatsoever. There's no driving thread through the entire series because you'll go entire episodes without talking about anything that pertains to half the characters, and then you pick right back up where you left off of them in the next episode.
Yeah.
You interweave things together over a skipped timeline and, try and patch things together so that you can build a chronology in your head, but there's really no point, right?
Well, the for lack of a better term, quote unquote, development that they have given us in this is so forced. Like the whole thing of Will being her grandfather and her and them trying to make it like a big, huge emotional thing for her, even though her character's a plank of wood.
Yeah.
Like, has shown no emotion about anything whatsoever, because that's what makes a strong female character is to
you Brie Larson that
beat
shit
up guys beat up guys 3 times your size and never smile. That's how you make a strong female character,
right,
folks. Mm-hmm. And we're supposed to believe that she cares that her grandfather got revealed.
Yeah,
not even slightly.
Mm-mm. No, and there's the whole question about the pills. Like the pills are supposed to be very, 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 very important. Everybody knows about the pills. What are the pills? You found pills. What are the pills? Get your ex to figure out what the pills are. My ex? Yes, your ex. X's and pills. By the way, here's some clan robes. Oh, these could be his grandfather's. We don't know. We don't know. We're not going to let them find out. They probably already know. Oh. I mean, that's...
Here's some clan robes with an old-ass sheriff's badge on it. Oh, his grandfather was a sheriff. They're probably his. Oh, I don't know about that. Well, it would make sense. Nah, just hold on to them because I don't want anybody to find out about it yet. Like, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I don't know where this show's trying to go, and I don't know how much more people are going to actually put up with from it, honestly. I mean, it'll have a small core audience, but I'm going to be very interested to look at the viewership numbers over time and look at the comparison of drop off between it and other popular TV shows that came out episodically.
Yeah. I mean, I can't imagine viewership is that high to begin with.
Well, it really depends on how they'll try and inflate the numbers or what kind of services they'll count from, or whether they'll give a fair reading. Like, will they compare it to something that was only available on cable network packages in comparison to something that was available on like 3 different streaming platforms?
Yeah, but I mean, at least 30 to 40% of people watching this are people like us that are watching it to criticize it, like on YouTube or something.
Probably.
Like, realistically, right? That would make sense.
I mean, I don't know if I would be so generous with those numbers. But anyway, I think that's probably about all I've got for the episode. Is there anything else you wanted to bring up tonight?
I mean, I still have to take another sip of this scotch after it's been sitting in the ice for a while.
I mean, you do. You better come up with something quick.
Nope, it still sucks.
Okay. All right, good.
In the chat, viewership equals just you two.
Basically, yes. Right. 100%.
You're not entirely wrong.
No, I'm watching it on 4 devices right now. I've just blocked myself on 2 of them so I don't show up. But no, seriously, I just... Oh, you mean on Watchmen? I thought he meant the show.
Yeah.
No,
he meant Watchmen.
I thought he meant the show. He wouldn't have been wrong on either one. I was actually going to ask you when you were going to reveal yourself to be like everybody in the chat.
That would be exhausting.
Well, you are always tired. But No, I know it's a little bit of a short show tonight. We're both still running on a little bit of fumes, but we did want to talk about episode 4. I think one other thing that got brought up that we should talk about. Did you see the guy who got arrested on a subway platform for eating a sandwich?
No.
Oh yeah, it was in California. Florida man has a new adversary in California man because apparently the laws are getting so outrageous out there that simply the act of consuming food outside while waiting on the subway is illegal, is an arrestable offense, or a citable offense actually.
So he was eating a sandwich.
Purchased from a restaurant not 10 feet away from where he was standing and eating it.
And they arrested him.
Well, they arrested him for resisting arrest or something like that, supposedly.
Which is the most retarded charge ever. That is the most bullshit charge ever.
Yeah.
Because they can tag that on for any reason.
Right.
But...
Well, Rekieta did a review of it, and he said that his initial thought was the cop was really interested in searching the bag the guy was holding. So, I think, and he also said
everything's legal out there.
Well, maybe he had more sandwiches, a contraband to the crime that he was committing. Code 4, he got a sandwich.
Son, is this a ham and cheese on a brioche bun? That's a class 3 felony. I'm gonna have to take you in.
Is this sandwich grilled? That makes it an assault sandwich. It's a felony charge. What do you mean this sandwich has sriracha on it? It makes this a biological weapon, son.
What? There are no pickles on this sandwich? We're just gonna have to take you back to the. We're gonna have to take you to the firing.
That's a code 7, subsection B.
Jesus, what are you doing in California?
Arresting people for eating sandwiches.
But letting homeless people run up and slap people in the face and dump buckets of diarrhea on them.
And shit in the street.
And shit in the street. You have to basically swim through used heroin needles to get to work. And
used heroin addicts, too. Oh. He was eating a Blimpie sandwich while waiting on a subway.
So if it was a $5 foot long, been okay.
Now, a couple of things. Obviously, if you're being detained by a police officer, no amount of disagreement and being tough is going to get you out of this situation. So, probably, it's probably best to just shut the fuck up and call your lawyer. Yeah, you shut the fuck up and
say nothing.
You shut the fuck up and you get your lawyer down to the police station. You probably don't call your lawyer. You probably call somebody you trust to bother the shit out of your lawyer until he leaves his office and goes to find you. Because if you just leave a message for your lawyer while he's getting his afternoon dick sucking on, he's probably not going to get back to you until after he's had a couple of cocktails. But
exactly.
If you have a good lawyer, that's pretty much his daily routine before he has his second or third bout of cocaine. But that's also the guy that's going to get you home without having to, see the inside of a jail cell. So. But yeah, the thing that this guy got screwed over on is that he immediately became combative with the officer, and Rackets also said that the officer was called out for an intoxicated person in public or some shit, and he didn't find that guy, so he probably just kind of scanned the crowd, and he was like, well, there's a ticket I can write. Trip not entirely wasted. And that's how shit escalates, because the guy gave him a hard time about it, and I don't agree that he should have gotten in any kind of trouble at all. He should have never been provoked. Or not provoked, but approached. Should have never been approached for eating a sandwich.
Yeah.
If it's against the law to eat a sandwich, then it should be more against the law to sell the sandwich, and the cop should be in the sandwich shop.
Right. Well, it should be illegal to let somebody leave with said sandwich.
Right.
You have to lock the door at the sandwich shop and make them eat it before you unlock the door and let them leave.
Correct.
Right?
I mean, I was just going to say that it should be like a drug. If sandwiches are going to be treated like drugs, then you have to treat the sandwich shop like dealers. And dealers take a priority over a user every day of the week. And California seems like the kind of place that would give you a business license to open up a sandwich shop in a zone where a cop would regularly come in and harass you about making sandwiches that are illegal in this area. But yes, that's the crazy shit that we live in these days. Lube man and being arrested for eating a sandwich waiting on a train to go to work in the morning. So if you go to California, beware. That cup of coffee might land you in jail.
But rest assured, because you might just get saved by Lube Man.
Lube Man may come and squirt a lot of Astroglide on you and pull you into the sewers with it. Which, if you call that being saved, then God bless you.
I mean, at least it's a story, right? So I was sitting in the subway eating a sandwich. This cop tries to arrest me.
I don't know that
guy in silver spandex runs up, grabs my arm, squirts a bunch of goop on me, and makes me slide into the sewer. I mean, come on.
I don't know that you survived that encounter with Lube Man, though. I'm pretty sure he wears your skin like a jacket when you get you down in the sewer. Like, there's a downside to every awesome character.
I mean, either way, I would still take that over getting arrested for a sandwich.
I'm gonna have to disagree with you on that one. I can come back from my fine over the sandwich, but somebody's wearing my skin in the sewer. I think I'm gonna be a little pissed off. Anyway, I appreciate everybody coming checking out the show. Thank you again, Ayrton, for everything. This has been an interesting show, so to speak. The Watchmen wasn't interesting, but the show talking about it and the things that it led to us talking about was interesting. So, what are you gonna do?
Everybody press W in the chat for Lube Man.
Lube Man. Why are we Wing? Are we
for
a
win?
Wooing? Are we a wooing for?
No, for a win.
Okay. All right. I've not heard that one.
No.
I'm gonna press X to doubt on that being a real thing.
Like, you know, you take take the W. You know, like take the win. That's not a thing.
You just put your lonely W in the chat, Eric, and I won't say anything else,
buddy. Hey, Matt.
Okay.
That's right.
Matt. You got a little W. You got a little W. That's a pity W.
Right. He
just feels sorry for you.
I'm done. Sign us off. Good night, everybody.
Good night, guys. Thank you again.